Hey besties, welcome to the Weekly Chronicle, where we chronicle our journey through the books we've read, the shows we've watched, and the worlds we've spiraled into. I'm Tabatha.
And I'm Sharilyn. Grab a beverage and let's get booking with the besties.
Cheers! Cheers! What you drinking, Sharilyn?
Blue Powerade.
Nice!
Hydrate or dihydrate.
Haha! I am drinking water.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
Yeah. So, how was your week?
You know, I didn't finish a single book.
It'd be like that
So
sometimes.
yeah, my brain is tired, and I just kind of munched around. I did that little just try different things and see what hits, because my brain still hurts.
What's interesting about that is like suddenly you're gonna have like 10 books done in a week when that happens.
I was like, I have like 8 ongoing technically right now.
do?
What do you? I'm just gonna suddenly have 10 books ongoing at once. But yeah, once I can finish them, that'll feel good.
Some are definitely close. I did finish a number of things, mostly manga. I had a big manga week. So the first one I finished was volume 3 of 20th Century Boys. Continues to amaze, and it escalates.
Ooh,
For sure, each book. This character
homegirl.
is cool.
Good for her.
And you know her already, but you don't know her. That's interesting. I'm gonna leave you that with that tidbit. It's
I have an idea.
fascinating how
Yeah. So I'm so sorry.
it's fascinating how this series escalates and it keeps changing. I would say we are no longer in the feeling like it's Stephen King but in a manga anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely its own thing at this point.
Nice.
It's got some really interesting characters that even continue from the last book. They're still interesting. It's got interesting new characters. It's got a lot of things happening in the world. So I also had to immediately pick up the next one. I'm not very far into it, but I had to immediately pick up the next one because of where this leaves off.
Ooh, okay.
It takes some turns, okay? I wish I could talk about this, and I will be able to soon. That's okay. But I don't think any of our friends are also on this one yet. So,
Oh dang. Okay.
so I'm alone out in the wilderness, just with these thoughts in my brain.
Maybe I'll try to catch up on those soon.
They're nice, especially if you're saying that your brain hurts and you
Yeah,
need like a
like-
little bit of a break.
I meant all week to pick up volume 2, and I never did. And I was like, literally, I don't have much left at all. I was like, I could have just picked it up and finished it and like checked it off and felt good about something. And I don't know why I didn't.
It just happens.
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing that happened to me with that one. Was it that one? No, this one. This one I kind of like picked it up. I got like a little bit into it and then set it down and then just, because this was last week. And I was like, oh no, I have not finished this in time for Sharilyn to grab it. So I was so grateful that you hadn't caught up. Hello, cat attacking my foot. But yeah, you can take this home and maybe catch up a little bit. I think I'm so intrigued. I'm really intrigued to see what you end up thinking of the next volume. Cool. I haven't heard your thoughts on volume 2 at all yet either.
Yeah, that's true. What are thoughts?
And then on the vein of manga, I read volumes 1 through 8 of Cat Plus Gamer, or Cat Gamer, I don't know.
I opened Goodreads at some point this week and I was like, okay, pop off, queen, what just happened?
So what happened was earlier this year, I think it was during the TBR-a-thon. It was during one of the readathons we did.
Okay.
And it was recommended as a series of manga. And I put it on like the notify on my library. They didn't have it at the time, so I like clicked the notify. And then they were like, oh, by the way, we have like all of these now. And I was like, well, okay, check out.
Yes.
And they were incredibly quick to get through. They were like, there are definitely ones where this one, I am glad that I have a physical copy because I think it's meatier. It's got a lot to it. Those ones, I'm glad I checked them out from the library because there's not a lot to them.
Oh, okay.
They're more of that like fun, easy breezy style.
It's breezy, beautiful.
Where it's like, it's kind of like the same vein of like Spy Family. Or
yeah,
where it's episodic,
like
it's just chill. And so that's what that was.
Low stakes, kind of?
Very low stakes.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, she's literally, the whole point of that one.
Cat, gamer,
Yeah.
girl.
I like the character. She's a gamer girl. She's like I want to say she's like in her early 30s or late 20s. So around our
Relatable.
age. She has a work-life balance that is phenomenal. She like works, she does her job. She definitely does her job.
Good for her.
And that's good for her. She's like, everyone at her job loves her.
Nice.
But she literally signs off at 5 p.m. and she leaves. She will never ever work over. And they even mention it in like volume 1. They're like, she never works overtime. And then they're like, good for her. So like everyone's super positive. It's very cozy.
That's nice.
And there's a woman that works with her, and they're not like friends necessarily, but they're like acquaintances. And every time we get the perspective of the other woman, she's like, I respect her. I like her. She's cool.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is. I like that. It's their like, not really friendship, but like kind of.
Yeah.
Good acquaintances.
Yeah.
And then she is, at first I was like, okay, this is a little cheeseball with all the like, all the extra gaming stuff. But I grew to love it over time, and they bring in different games for like each volume.
Oh, okay.
That are based on real games. Some of them are more clear and obvious and hilariously obvious than others. Like Pokemon is literally in there, and they just change a letter to A. So they're like, yep, we're just gonna take the word, just change one letter.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that a lot in like webtoons. Where, yeah.
And so she plays games. She goes home. She plays games, and then a cat comes into her life, and she's like, yeah, I'll take that cat. And then she's like,
that's how cats go. I found him in the trash.
And then she's like, she thinks of the cat, and she's like, I'm gonna level up this cat. It's cheesy. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very cheesy.
Pokemon.
Yeah. She's like leveling up and then she's like has no idea what to do with a cat. And so she goes to like a pet store and meets someone there, and they talk about cats, and she learns all of the tricks from the pet store owner, and like each one she's finding new things that the cat needs.
Cute.
And yeah, it's really cute and wholesome. Yeah, it's good. And then eventually they get a second cat, and and we get little bonus pages in between each chapter where it's like from the cat's perspective.
That's so cute.
It's super cute. Definitely would recommend it, mostly as like a library thing, just because manga's expensive, and it's one that I think each volume probably took me like 30 minutes to an hour to read. So it's hard to justify spending like the $10 to $20.
Yeah, that gets tough.
But it's definitely good and worth checking out. And then the other things I finished, finally! It only took so long. But it was really, really good. It ended up being very, very, very worth it. Loved how this ended, and absolutely loved the more horror elements that we got, as everybody has said. And then just the direction that it starts to take towards the end was fantastic. And then I picked up Queen Amid Ashes, and this is 2.5. Hadrian's still in it. Okay. But it's not focused on... It's a part of his journey, but it's less focused on how he changes and like the main plot, and more focused on justice, I would say. It's in...
Is it third person or first?
Okay. It's first. It's still from first person from Hadrian, but...
Oh, so it is still him.
It's still him, but it's less focused on him. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain that, but it's more focused on this world. It's focused on a world, and the Cielsen have done things in this world, and then we're learning things about power. Ooh, it's so hard. It's hard to words.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. It's hard to explain, but I will say it's very, very, very good. It is expanding the definitions of justice and hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is also something that has been discussed in both of the first two books as well, as far as like what is human, like the human level of hypocrisy versus like where do we draw the line at what's wrong. This, I think, does a really good explanation of that. There we go. Those are words. This explains and covers where the line is. What is the line? Why do you cross it? Do the ends justify the means? What price is worth paying for peace, I guess? What price is worth paying for peace? There's just a lot of really good discussions, and it's more... I almost want to say that this is more theme driven than... Like, these are definitely more character. I almost think that this is more theme.
Okay.
And we have interesting other world elements. We're getting more into different areas of the world. It's expanding the universe.
Scope?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I like this one or Lesser Devil more. I would say they're both extremely good. That one focuses on getting a different perspective outside of Hadrian, and this one focuses on, I have to just say it's focused on justice. I think that's like the number one thing it's focused on.
Interesting.
I've said that like 20 times, so.
Yes.
Justice, 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 justice. There's some more.
Yeah.
And then I read the Tales of the Sun Eater, Volume 1.
Oh, okay.
That was also interesting. I can see that being less. It is still cool, and it's still enjoyable, and you do get more facets of the world. No, it is very good. It's very, very good, actually. Now that sometimes you have to just say things to figure out what you think.
Verbally process. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get that.
What I really enjoyed about that is kind of the same thing with The Lesser Devil, the first novella, and that's we're seeing more perspectives. We're even seeing people who are not connected to Hadrian specifically. Okay. And we get to see how they view him. Like, if they're,
nice. Okay.
Because they might know who he is, okay?
Yeah.
But they don't interact with him, like his brother does in Lesser Devil. So we get to see their perspectives, and we get to see the plebeians. We get to see some of their perspectives. Good. And we get, like, a night ship guy who, like, runs the ship while they're fast traveling, and they're all asleep in their little cryo chambers.
Yeah.
He's running the night ship.
Okay.
And so we get to see his perspective, and we get to see a bunch of really cool perspectives. We do get some with Hadrian as well, that are specifically from his perspective as well. But it's really neat. I think the best ones were the ones that were outside of his, just because you don't see that outside of it.
That's fair.
So it was really cool. The night ship one, that was my favorite one. And if you could read just one, I would say read that one. I just thought that was so cool. Yeah, there were some really good short stories in there that just definitely expand the world and show us some of the things that are potentially coming. So that was super cool. And that is finally all that I have finished.
Okay. Well, on the Sun Eater note, I was expecting to finish Kingdoms of Death this week. And instead, in my, like, mental burnout, I was getting tired of this book and this story, and I needed to take a break from it. But I was starting to notice some patterns in the, like, layout of these books. The way the story builds feels kind of like stair steps rather than like a gradual incline.
Interesting.
And so I've noticed that pretty frequently, that it'll be like, okay, this half is good, and then this half is where it gets you. And then Demon in White had like multiple steps within it because it's so big. And this one, there was that first step that I was just kind of like, the whole time I just kind of felt like, why are we here? So I was starting to get burned out, that I was just kind of like, okay, can we get past this? What's going on? And so then when we got to the next step, which was like really big deal, like really cool, like, and I wasn't appreciating it, I was like, I need a break. Because what was happening was, and I was just like tired. So I needed to step back so that my brain can like chill, and I can come back to this and actually appreciate it for what it is. But yeah, I was just starting to get a little jaded with the whole thing. I was like, guys, that's been so long. Why, like, come on, can we wrap this up? I was like, I'm tired. I need a break. So I began, I was scrolling through Kindle, and this book was on KU, and I was like, this author, this book have been recommended, I'm just gonna go for it. And it is I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones. And I actually am really loving it. It's been so good. It's a very interesting, there's so many good things about it. You can tell this was a good move. First off, the layout I was a little nervous about, because it's not really in chapters, it's in chunks, like parts almost. They have names, but it's like part 1. It would be like part 1, part 2, but they have names. And they're like 60 pages.
Gotcha.
And so at first I was like, how is this going to feel reading? Because I'm one of those people who likes the bite-sized little chapters. So I was like, if this is a chunk of writing, how's that going to feel? It reads so smoothly, so quickly. It was just like, it did not feel like I was spending 60 pages getting through this at all. So that was already great. The story itself reads kind of like a memoir of a teenage slasher. So this is
That makes sense. That
after
I
the
was.
fact. Yeah. So it's after the fact, and he's kind of recounting his time as a teenage slasher. I love his voice. He does a lot of meandering, but in a way that doesn't feel like pointless.
It's just natural.
It feels very natural. And his voice, I was telling Jose, I was like, this is interesting to read because it's like compared to your boy Hadrian over here, who's like melodramatic as fuck. Homie over here is recounting his time as a teenage slasher, and he's just so like chill about it. Like he's just a dude like talking. I was telling Jose, I was like, this is just such like a guy way of talking, where he's just like, here's all this stuff that happened, and like it happened, and like we went through a lot, and it was weird, and like there's all this stuff, and like he's just kind of talking it out. Like it doesn't like where you could be very dramatic here, he's not.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's kind of part of how it reads just so like easily, is that it's like we're just kind of having a conversation. He's just talking. He's just wondering. He's just telling a story. And so it feels, I don't want to say relatable. I don't think that's the word.
Were you a teenage slasher?
We don't need to discuss that on the interwebs, Tabatha. No. But yeah, it just reads so well. And then what is extra special for me with this story, so it is set in La Mesa, Texas in 1989. The story he's telling, his teenage slasher time. He's in the future. But no, the story of the teenage slasher is set in La Mesa, Texas in 1989, and that is tiny town, West Texas. And there are so many Texan Easter eggs in here.
Oh,
like
awesome.
All these like little tiny towns. And I'm like, I know all of these. There's multiple mentions of Dr. Pepper, where I'm like, yes. Like there's just so many things that feel like they're just a little extra special for me because I'm born and raised Texan. And even like my parents were teenagers in the 1980s, and so there are things just like ways that teenagers interact and like just events, just like the everyday, that I'm just like, I can see like a bit of like what it was like for my parents. Like they weren't in tiny towns in Texas, still just kind of just seeing a bit of that. I was like, this is kind of fun. Like
That's
I
cool.
actually want to like recommend this to my dad because I think he would have a fun time with it. And like it would be interesting to see like how much
Why
of this
is my daughter recommending me a book called I Was a Teenage Slasher?
I recommend the strangest tales to him. But no, it'd be kind of fun, like just like what's it like to be a teenager in the 1980s, just to kind of see
That's
like
cool.
what are the things you not agree with, but what are the things that you resonate with, I guess. And so there was also like semi-related to just like that 1980s teenagerdom, the TV show The Goldbergs is one of my favorite shows. It's so sweet and wholesome, but it's just a family set in the 1980s, and every episode he starts with, it was 1980 something, and goes into, whatever's happening in that episode. And so I just have like, I guess because of my parents being teenagers in the 1980s, I just have like, that's just like a fun time for me to like look at through media. So tangent, but I've been having a great time with this book. I forgot how far I am in it. I haven't finished it yet, clearly, but no, it's going really well.
That's awesome. You needed a good palate cleanser.
I did, yes, and it's just reading so great. Like of all the books. Of all the books.
Yeah, when you mentioned that you were gonna pick that up, I was very shocked. So I'm glad that you're loving it so much.
It is great.
Unbelievably happy that you were you're fully in your horror era, and like you cannot say anymore that you don't like horror, and I love that. I love that.
Did I say before that I don't like horror? Or just that I didn't really have an opinion? I was just kind of like, that's over there.
It was more like avoiding, I guess.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, I don't know what that's about. Just don't leave me out of it.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, I'll take some of that.
Yeah. And I think that it like slowly changed once you picked up The Shining, and then you were like, okay.
Like, okay, maybe we can see what this is.
And then you
about.
like started just like, picking up little things that we were, and so now, and that has escalated to I Was a Teenage Slasher, and that as a title too is just like.
There's the fact that I like chose this as like, you know what, my brain needs a break. I'm gonna choose a horror novel, and it is just,
this is the best timeline.
Glad I could be here for it. So that's the bulk of what I read this week. And then I technically started Empire of the Vampire. And by technically started, I mean the prologue. It's not titled prologue, it's Sunset. So just kind of that opening of that setup of what you're about to get into. That's all I read. So I have no thoughts.
Cool.
And then the last book I read.
Oh, I'm gonna jump in here.
Please do. We both read the introduction part, chapter, whatever, of A Very Short Introduction on Horror by Daryl Jones from Oxford, because we, on the note of horror, want to kind of just understand it more, be able to
do a deep
dive into what does horror mean, like kind of peel back the layers of horror and like demystify what that genre means, what it entails, what it includes, what all the aspects and facets are. So, surprise, we're doing a little series on this that's coming soon to our YouTube channel near you. But wait, there's more. Call the number on the screen. But yeah, got to reread the introduction of the book, and it's so good.
So good.
We're so excited for y'all to jump on that journey with us, and to share all of the things, all of the thoughts, everything we're dissecting.
Yeah, it's really cool to have words.
It is great to have words. Yes, this really, even just in the introduction alone, gave us a lot of language for horror. But there are a lot of categories within horror and a lot of things, a lot of ways to describe it, but we didn't really have the words for it.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, I mean, it feels like, and it has this thing going on. And it was difficult to talk about and to put words to. So this really gave us more just vocabulary that we understand and makes sense, and we can see how that applies and how that just makes sense, and now we can talk about it better, even though I'm not talking about it at all here. But you'll know very soon. So
it's extremely well written too, and if you want a good nonfiction book about horror, and it says here, from bloody plays in ancient Greece to Stephen King's novels, we have been enjoying the thrill of horror for thousands of years. But why do we find it so pleasurable to give ourselves a fright? Boo!
Yes, so it reads so well. Like pretty much every paragraph I was rereading, just because there's so much good information, and and the way he says things, it just makes sense, and it's easy to understand or begin to understand. And yeah, it's very, very well written.
Extremely. I mean, it is from Oxford. So
yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like
does check out
as high quality as you could probably get.
Probably.
I don't know. The option, I don't know.
But we're loving it.
We are loving it. So, what else did you read this week?
Okay, so let's get into that. So, couple things. We'll go into this one first. First of all, I was gifted this by our friend Q, who is amazing. Thank you so much for Guards. I had to immediately start picking it up because it just sounded so intriguing. And I was laughing when you were describing parts, because I messaged Q and I was like, I was gonna read the first chapter, but then I realized there are no chapters. This is one long book.
What?
There are clear breaks, okay? And you'll see, I'll show you real quick. Oh, no, that's footnote. There are also footnotes.
Okay.
You will see. I will show you. There's a clear break. So
okay.
Then
just
it changes. Yeah, there's just like an extra space, basically, between scenes, and perspectives.
Yeah, within like the parts in here, it would have those pieces to break it down. So like even though it's 60 pages, you can still 2 or 3 pages at a time, because there's that delineation. And
my biggest fear with this, as you know, was humor, because it doesn't always land. But this lands, and it's exactly the type of humor that I like. It's a very similar humor style to something like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
Both the movie and the book. Very, very similar tonally. And so I'm really enjoying that. And it's got a lot of like puns, wordplay, things like that.
Okay. It's like clever, maybe kind of
very
goofy,
clever, very goofy, very whimsical.
Love
it's a lot of fun so far. And I love this we've got multiple perspectives already, and I'm only on page 18. So I guess multiple is the wrong word. I think we have like 2 or 3.
Okay.
So far. But
is it third person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's also got like a lot of atmosphere as well.
Okay.
Which is interesting. So like one of the first scenes describes a library, and the library people view as endless, but it's not really endless. It has an end somewhere. You just might not know where it is. And
you said the word library, and my mind pictured just an infinite bookshelf. So yeah,
funny.
That's interesting.
And then they mention how like this library is so huge that people will like leave chalk. They'll leave chalk to try and figure out how to get back. Like little breadcrumbs of how to get back. And then there's like also sleeping dragons that are like tail to tail. Oh, almost similar tone as well to I'm Afraid You've Got Dragons.
Oh.
So yes.
Okay.
Yes. A little bit more on the whimsy, like even cranked up a bit from that one. But very similar humor style. But yeah, it's got that very fairy tale-esque feel as well.
Interesting.
And like fantasy, but like almost to the fairy tale-esque, which I love that.
Okay.
And this is book 4, I think, in the overall Discworld, but it's broken down into different series. So it's book 1 of City Watch.
Okay.
And it's right up my alley so far. So thank you so much, Q, for that one. And then here's where we have a discussion.
Oh, let's do it.
So you mentioned your brain being like a little bit tired and stuff like that.
A lot of bit tired.
And I think what's happening with me is, and one of the reasons that I gravitated towards Cat Plus Gamer so much is because same girl, same. Because
you said that so seriously. Because same girl, same. Yes, ma'am.
Because like this is a bit more dense than I'm used to.
Yeah.
And then so are both of these. And so reading.
Oh, even Buffalo Hunter?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't read it in a couple weeks, so I probably forgot that I was reading this.
Cool.
I did mention it in one of our videos once, but it literally has been a couple weeks and I've been on the same page.
Good.
So that's excellent. The reason I'm still bringing it up is because I'm trying to decide what I need to do here as far as I have too many books I'm in the middle of.
I feel that.
And
it's 8 books ongoing right now.
And when they're more complicated is when it gets tricky.
Yeah.
Because when they're simple books, having multiple books is fine because you can like jump back in.
Yeah, you don't have to think that hard to like reorient yourself into that world.
Exactly. And so for this series, I'm mostly doing the audiobooks for like the main books, but the other books,
Those are physical.
The novellas do also have audiobooks, so I'm doing audiobooks for those, but the like short stories, those are all physical only. And so those are kind of going to be my main like eyeball read, I think. But I'm also like torn because I can have one more because I'm not always reading the tales. They're just in between the other ones.
Yeah.
I think I need to soft DNF one of these just because they both
require
richer.
some brain power.
Yes.
Okay.
They're both richer in prose and world, and so they take more digestion. And so I think I need to not do both at once.
I feel that.
So there's pros and cons here. So I'm gonna have you help me decide. So this one, Buffalo Hunter, will obviously be quick, and there's kind of like an informal buddy read situation happening over on Discord. However, most people are already done with it. So like,
yeah, I know that feeling.
I could set that aside until I'm ready for it. Or there's Janie Wirt's book, which is, I am enjoying this one more than this one.
Okay.
So there's the pro there. And I find myself more immersed in this one. But there's no rush to it either. I'm not like buddy reading this with anyone. I'm not really anymore. It's just because they're all past me. But yeah, I don't know which one to set aside for now, you know?
I would say set this one aside if this is the one you're more interested in right now.
think
Especially since if you're only reading this for the buddy read and the buddy's already done reading, then you're just kind of going to feel like behind, and like if you're not in the mood for it, then it would make sense to pick the one you are in the mood for and just wait until you feel like coming back to that one.
Yeah, I think that is the case. Because like every time because the thing is, both of these are good in their own way. And the more, like, when I come back to it, like, every time I come back to this, I'm like, oh, this is nice. I like being here. Yeah. But then I, like, set it aside for, like, reading other things. Like, the Tales of Sun Eater, I had to set this aside to read those. I was setting this aside to read that. And then I'm pulled out of it a bit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not very far in this one. I'm actually farther in that one. I don't know how. Actually, I might technically be farther in this one. Because I'm like 15%. And it's... Anyway, that's math. That's math I don't need to be doing right now. I do think I'm technically a little bit farther. Percentage-wise, probably farther than that one. Why am I yapping?
I don't know.
I'd be big yapping right now.
You do. You do.
I do big yapping about nothing.
I'm like, I don't think they care.
I don't think they care about the percentage you're done with either of these. Yeah, I think I will softy enough Buffalo.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. Read the one that you're like, you want to get back to.
It is what it is. That'll be set aside, probably.
What did we just discuss?
I don't know.
Tabatha, listen to me.
Maybe I can continue to read
Where's the spray bottle?
10 books at once.
None of us can, that's the problem.
That is the problem. It's the hard part is like when they're tough, and it's just like, it's hard to get, it's lovely. It's delicious when you are like fully into it, but then it's hard when you have like multiple more challenging books at the same time.
Yes, because like where I was with my reads earlier, and I like needed a pause on Kingdoms of Death, which I want to keep calling the wrong name because the other one I'm thinking of, which I won't say because I'll trip myself up more, has the same colored front cover. Words are hard. Can't get through a video without saying that at least 15 times. But yeah, even like I was expecting to get farther into Empire of the Vampire this week, and then I got a little sick and my brain stopped functioning. And so I was like, I guess. And then too, I was trying to figure out, do I even start that one? I had like a list of books I want to be reading, and all of them were dense, and my brain was like, I really can't do this right now, but if we have to pick one, might as well be this one. And that's not a great way to go into a book, guys. Yeah, so
Devolves to crying.
Yeah, so
maybe we need to just like be nicer to ourselves and like accept that palette cleansers are there for a reason, because
yeah, I think I just didn't, I'm got lucky with this one because I hadn't quite figured out that I needed a palette cleanser, but I started it anyway. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is great. If I thought more about it, which I couldn't do because my brain wasn't functioning, I would have worked on volume 2 of 20th Century Boys. But yeah.
Brain not functioning.
Brain wasn't functioning, so I couldn't think to make good decisions.
Well, the issue that I guess I had a little bit with, even with Cat Plus Gamer, is because they're shorter, it didn't feel as much of like a palette cleanser, I guess, in that it was, but it wasn't enough.
Didn't feel like you like actually accomplished enough. Like it didn't, you were just like, which is why you read all 8 of them.
Yes, because I think I need because of how many
your
of these
brain needed a longer break.
Yeah. And so I read all 8 of those, and I probably need like another solid palette cleanser because all of these, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. I didn't have a palette cleanser.
I have a PhD.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
I'm just gonna add, what am I at currently reads?
Like my brain hurts so much right now.
Mine does too, actually. I legit have a really bad headache.
Same! I think it's because we haven't eaten in hours.
That's Revival! I have Revival as a buddy read next, actually. Thank you for currently reading that so that I have a good justification. Not that I need a justification, but
Is that one gonna be a palette cleanser?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think so?
In my sense, just
for
because
you,
I'm used, I think for me, because I'm used to his writing style, and I think it'll be a good palette cleanser.
How long is it?
It's short. It's like 400 pages.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
No, I think that'll be really good.
Yeah.
And I got the audiobook from the library, so I'll be able to immersion read it. And yeah.
Okay, sweet. Game plan-ish.
Kind of. I still don't know if I'm softy enoughing or not. We'll find out. You'll find out next week.
Why am I even here?
On The Price is Right. Okay, so that's everything we've read and are currently reading. And there's our also existential crisis for who knows how long it's been since we've had one of those live.
That's true. They happen off camera more and more these days.
Yeah.
Luckily for us.
Hope you enjoyed a glimpse into what we normally go through.
What other media did we consume this week?
Yeah.
I actually watched multiple things this week.
Look at you.
Yeah, because I got sick, so I had time to not use my brain for reading and instead used it for staring at the television. But before I got sick, Jose and I watched Van Helsing because
Oh my god!
because I felt like something just like gritty and dark, and so we watched the movie.
Yeah, the older one, the like 2004, I think.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Hugh Jackman. That's who. Yes. Yeah. That was a trip.
Yeah.
It was very dramatic.
Yeah.
It was very gothic.
I love it. That movie is a part of my childhood.
Oh, you had a weird childhood.
I did. It was a very vampiric childhood.
That explains a lot.
That one and Underworld, like, probably account for a lot of who I am as a person.
I believe it. But yeah, so I watched that. Yeah, that was just fun. That was a good time.
I'm scared to rewatch it. Does it hold up over time? Because, like, I loved it, obviously, as a kid. And, like, I was just watching it and just like, yes, this is amazing.
I don't know how to answer that question.
Cool.
Because I don't have a past memory of it to hold it up to.
I guess, does it...
It's not like it aged poorly.
Okay, cool.
It's just kind of like... It does feel, like, overdramatic. It does feel cheesy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of times where I was laughing more than anything else. Yeah. Like, no part of it was ever, like, scary. It felt very unserious. And just very over the top.
Yeah.
But, like, fun.
It's one that I'm, like, scared to rewatch just because I hold it so high in my heart.
Yeah. That I can't speak to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so watch that. That was a lot of fun.
Cool.
And then in my haze, I pulled up Netflix and I was like, what do I feel like? Oh, that looks like fun. Yes. And it was The Thursday Murder Club. It's set in Britain. It's at like a senior living home, which is, of course, like this gorgeous manor house because they have so many gorgeous buildings from decades and centuries past. But it's these elderly people at the home who, like, they've created their, like, club is looking at cold cases. Mm-hmm. And in so doing, or at the same time, there's a lot of drama kind of unfolding with the property and whether it's going to remain a senior center, a senior home, because they're like, we live here, this is our place. Someone else is trying to, like, one of the owners is trying to yank it out from yoink it from everyone.
Yoink.
I can't
That's a fun
words. Word. But yeah, so they already have their little, like, detective group, and then there's, like, some shady business happening with the property, and so they ended up, like, diving into solving what's happening.
Sounds
and
like
it's
fun.
It's so much fun. One, I love British mysteries as it is.
Are you gonna read the book too, or just stick to
I just found out that it was a book in this week, so I think I would like to read it. I don't know when that would happen. But yeah, I just had so much fun with it. I love British detective mysteries, and a lot.
And that was your childhood.
That was my childhood, actually, though. Yes. So the stuff that happened at the foundational ages plays. Yeah, this makes sense now. I'm like, what do you mean you don't like detective procedural mysteries? He's like, that was my childhood. Yeah, with my dad. So no wonder it's so special to me. But oh my gosh, no, I loved it. It was so, like, cozy for me, like and it. Yeah, it was fun.
Which is just what the doctor ordered while you're sick. Doctor's ordering lots of stuff today.
Yeah, golly, someone give him a break. And then last, Jose and I watched the second half of Wednesday season 2 because that came out this week. I'm gonna be honest, it was a bit of a letdown. The first half was better. Yeah, there were too many storylines happening, and there were some things that, like, set up in the first half that you thought were gonna be a big deal, and then they just kind of weren't, and you're like, what was the point? And so it was strange, but yeah, I think there was just too much happening, and so it was like you forgot about, like, other storylines, And then, like, one thing wrapped up and it was like, oh yeah, now we have this other one, and it just, yeah. But it's fine.
I mean, fine happens.
Yeah.
Can't all be solid winners. That's unfortunate though when it's like the second half, because you'd like
it
want
had a
that
really
one to be
good
even better.
like build up in the first half, and the second half was like, yeah, I think there was just too much going on. Yeah, and some of the storylines just felt like they didn't need to happen, or they were just.
You had kind of a spooky watching week.
I did actually.
Love that.
Yeah.
And a spooky reading week.
Am I? Oh my gosh. What?
Literally best timeline.
I'm fading so fast. Do you have anything else to talk about?
Yes, I do. In fact, I didn't watch anything. But one of my husband's favorite series is Trails, Legend of Heroes, I think is what it's actually called.
Is it a video game?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I asked him, I was like, hey, I am torn between two things because I wanted to play something on my Steam Deck. So I was like, do I start going through some of the Final Fantasies that I haven't played yet? Or do I start Trails? Because he's in the thick of that series, and he's like several games in at this point. And so I was like, dude, which one? And he was like, please, for the love of God, play Trails. He also loves Final Fantasy, but the problem is no one has played Trails. And so like I've seen enough people in like weirdly enough in like our section of YouTube, I've seen a few people who have played it, but like outside of that, none of his friends have played it. No one he knows has played it, and it's not a very popular game series.
Okay.
But it's the same vein. It's a JRPG. It's turn-based. It's long games that are fantasy, and yeah, it's actually really, really good. It's actually like super, super, super good. It's set in a land called Liberal, and and each like there's multiple series within the series, and like each one is set in a different part of this world. So in this one we're in Liberal, which is like a smaller country that is more peaceful. They're more rural, they're more peaceful.
Okay.
And then I know in future games we go into like the Empire. That's where he's at the Empire area. And so right now we're following a girl who like literally the first scene, this'll immediately set the tone, is she is a young girl and her dad comes home. Her dad is a bracer, which is like this world's version of like witchers almost. They go out, they protect the community. They're all volunteer. They do get paid, but they are like, it's just a job.
It's a voluntary position.
Yeah. And they have to like do trials and stuff to become this. But her dad is this. Okay. And so he comes home and he has something in his hands.
Is it a puppy?
And he's like, I brought a gift for you.
Is it a dragon?
It's a child.
That is not a puppy. That is not a pet.
No. She's like, and she gets really upset at him, and she's like, why did you bring me a boy? Like, why did you bring me
not just a child, but a boy?
Yeah.
Gross.
And then he's got like bandages on his head. Aww. And he's like clearly wounded and stuff, and so you've got like a mystery there easily established of like, who is this boy, what happened to him, things like that. And then we get characterizations really early on. We can see that she's like got like a little bit of feistiness to her, because he's like waking up and he's got like questions, and she's like, you are injured, stop what you're doing. And then she like smacks him around. He's like, sit down. Yeah. And he's like, you're making it worse. And so they've got like a good dynamic there. And then so like that's just like almost like a prologue. Well, it is within the prologue. It's broken up. It's got like a prologue chapter, and then it's got chapter 1, chapter 2. I think it goes up to 5. Okay. But then we have like, that's just like the first scene in the prologue, and then she wakes up and they're older teenagers. Oh, okay. And so he's been living with them. They call each other brother and sister. He calls her dad, so he's like basically been adopted at this point. Yeah. And the dad goes off on missions and stuff like that, and they're becoming bracers now. Oh, so they're leveling up that. Yeah. And like your first gameplay aspects are you doing little trials to become the bracer. And then you do become a bracer like really early on, and you start doing little missions, and they're done in a really, really good way. A lot of times games have these like early missions that are like training, and they kind of feel like get me to the next thing. But
oh yeah.
But because of how they're done, it didn't give me that feeling. I call them grape stomping quests because in like the middle of Final Fantasy 14, like you're deep into like the world is ending and you are crushing grapes to help somebody. And so but it doesn't have that feeling. You're doing things that are important, and they're kids. So they're doing like kid level important things.
That's sweet.
And so like one of them is like they're rescuing a cat. Okay, so like it's still just a little quest, but but you're doing things like that, and each person talks to you. They have
that kind of makes me think of in Naruto when they're like training, and like one of their first quests I think is like rescuing a cat. Yeah. And they're like, why are we doing this? This is stupid. And he's like, you have to take what missions they have for you, and also your children.
Yes. It has a very, very similar vibe in that sense. And so they're training up to be these protectors of the land. They have to fight monsters, things like that, go through little areas. It's really cool, and it's also a very long game. Each of the games, this one is around like 40 to 50 hours. I am 24 hours into it already.
Nice.
In a week, yes. And I am on chapter 2.
Oh.
So, because there's a lot of side things that you can do too, and they're fun. Like, you can do them just as side quest. You can avoid them if you don't really want to, and you can stick to the main story, and I'm sure it's a little bit faster. But they do such a good job of making it fun. And they're very unique. They're not like, okay, go kill this thing, bring it back, kill the thing. Like, they're not like fetch quests like that.
Okay.
And so they have enough differences to where it doesn't overstay its welcome. And so that's been good, and the story is excellent, even just as like a fantasy story. It does exactly what you want of like setting characters, setting tone immediately, and then building up characters. It's got a weird sense of humor at times. There are characters, like there's a character in there, her name is Charizard, and I feel like you would love her. And sometimes they call her Cher. And so I'm just like, sometimes with sometimes some of the funny things that she says, I'm like, yeah, Sharilyn would say that.
Oh, I'm in the game.
Nice. Yeah. So it's like over the top at times, but it's also like mostly not. And so it's like even funnier when it does go there. Oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a really good game. Really fun. Let us know if you played it. Okay. And
do we have any channel announcements?
Writing first?
I did none.
You didn't? Okay.
I did not.
I did write a scene.
Okay.
So.
Good for you.
Scott and I are we just started literally yesterday, so.
See how it goes.
See how it goes. But we started like body doubling, so he's working on his creative pursuit, and I'm working on mine right next to each other. So it's like a nice accountability for both of us. We're spending time together, each working on our creative task. And so we did that yesterday, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And it was really nice to be able to like share aspects of that. And I was reading this as well during that. And so that was cool. Yeah. And so I was able to get a scene done. I did an interesting part for this one, because what I did was it almost felt more like an extended outline than like a full written scene.
Okay.
Because there were parts, so one of the writing books, I have no idea which one, don't remember anymore, it mentioned TK, which stands for to come, but instead of doing C, I don't know why, they just do TK. I don't remember the logic behind it.
TC probably already meant something.
Yeah, or I think it was used more in more words, so it's easier to control F for TK, because it's used less, I think was the logic. I don't remember. But I've been doing like a lot more TK. It's things that you, instead of sitting there and like stressing over, okay, what is the name of this place? You just put TK, and then what it is.
Write down those letters.
Yes.
Gotcha. I thought like it was like okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So if you don't have the name for an empire, but you're describing an empire, you can just say TK Empire name.
Okay.
And then
so it's kind of like a to be determined.
Yes.
We'll get back to that.
Yes. And
so you can just write down. Sorry.
Exactly.
Go. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I'm tracking. Yeah. I see. Oh.
Yeah. And it really helped a lot. I did it like once or twice in the first one, but I did it way more in this one. That's why I feel like it's more of an extended outline, because I'm realizing I was getting, I guess, hung up on the dialogue.
Okay.
And so I put like TK and then like I
conversation about or something.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And so later, when I feel like I can do that, when I feel like I have that capacity, but it ended up not slowing me down. So I was able to get I actually got like a lot more words in this scene than my previous scene, and I feel better about it. Because it feels less YA, and this is probably going to be the first scene. So sorry, first scene that felt very YA, but it felt very YA, so that one's probably gone. But this one I felt a lot better about. It felt like a lot stronger of a starting spot.
Okay.
Even though there's more I have to flesh out, but because it's like TK, they're introducing each other. Yeah. I can then do what I remember hearing John say that he did during Talking Story during Discovery, and then just like ad lib, like record and like fake a conversation. I think that could help for things like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what I'm gonna probably end up doing later. We'll see. But because the dialogue was just, it was weird because like I can read dialogue and I can be like, that's natural sounding dialogue. But coming up with it was feeling very unnatural.
Yes, that's something I was talking about with one of my friends this week. That dialogue can be tricky. Yeah, if you kind of like maybe get too in your head about it, or you're just like what helps is like reading it out loud. Just like, does this sound natural? Does this feel natural? And if it doesn't, then you know like to work on it. So yeah, even so to start there with just speaking the dialogue. Yep, that's a really good idea. Ooh,
I can't take credit. I wish I could.
But still, that's a good idea to be sharing here right now. I like that.
Yeah. And then just like, I wrote, like there were so many things that I was like, TK, blah, 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 TK, blah, blah, blah. And so, that's good. Yeah, and it helped me move through and like start getting more out there. So like I got a richer scene because of that, because I wasn't getting hung up on the smaller things. Yeah, because you would like get stuck and you would waste brain power trying to come up with something that you don't have yet, but you had all this other stuff, and then you maybe lose it because you get stuck here and then you run out of juice. Yeah, I like that. It was really cool. It was really cool.
Yeah. Oh.
And like obviously I'm gonna eventually have to like go back and like add those things, but you know.
But for now,
it's great.
And that way you can just keep moving and keep going. Yeah, because that was something that I struggled with when I was writing, was that I would get hung up on like, just whether I need to make a change from before as the story progresses. I'm like, oh, now this thing over here doesn't make sense and I need to change it, or I need to fit this in. Like I would stop myself from making progress because I would have something that I felt like I needed to go back and do. Yeah. And so when I told myself, I was like, I'll know to come back to that. Like, that's not something I need to do right now. That's not, so like, but these ideas that I do have, I need to just keep writing, keep getting out. That vomit draft, just giving yourself permission to just keep going. Yes. And not feel like you have to get everything or get it right or perfect. That first round is, I think what's helping me personally with it, and what forced me to do this, is I am being very extra and doing this on like basically a typewriter. Yeah. So like you can backspace. This isn't like an actual typewriter. It's a digital typewriter, but it's trickier. There's no like up arrow keys. You can't like go back like that. You can't, it saves to Google. So but I'll like on the screen. Yeah. Where you're typing it over there. Yeah. You just have the line you're working on. You have a little bit more than that. Yeah, you definitely have a bit more. But it's really interesting because I can't go back and like fix a spelling mistake or whatever. That's for later. That's for future. And so it's helping me a lot with because I get, just like you, so in my head, so unbelievably in my head. And so it's helping me, and it's really interesting because this is the first time I'm feeling like I am doing like more of the discovery style of writing. Like I actually discovered things as I was clickety clacketing. Things were like coming, and it was like really fun. Yeah. And it's all still centered around, like I have the theme in mind, I have where we're going, all of that, but being able to discover like neat
pockets. It's cool.
Nice. Sweet.
Well,
okay.
We're dead tired.
We've yapped for so long.
Yes.
So it's amazing you're still here with us. We appreciate it greatly.
This is actually, it's funny because this is the longest recording that we've had in a while.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, and it's trying to overheat. So let us know what you guys have been up to this week, what you've watched, read, all of that. And if you're not feeling chatty, leave us some Z's because we are sleepy.
That little yawning emoji, that's my favorite right now. Well, our scrolls are sealed for now, but the tale continues next week. Until then, read bravely, binge boldly, and don't forget your brew. Cheers, besties.
Cheers.